Hello from the European Parliament. I have visited Belgrade in my new role 3 times in the past several months. I regret that I am not in Serbia now, as I really love to return there every time. Since the beginning of my first mandate as a member of the European Parliament, I remember I was doing my best to achieve visa liberalization for Serbia. Going back in time on 19 December 2009, we finally achieved that the Council of Ministers has adopted visa liberalization regime for Serbia, Montenegro and North Macedonia, which was a great tangible result for the people on the way to the European Union. I wish there would be much more of such positive, important and tangible results, as Serbia is the key actor for peace and stability in the region. Serbia has started paving its path towards the European Union back in 2009, when the country applied for a full membership of the European Union. In 2013, the Council has adopted Serbia's negotiating framework. As already known, Serbia has already opened 18 chapters out of 35. In terms of opening the chapters, Serbia is on its halfway, but in the terms of time framework, it is hard to say. As the accession process is the process take it or leave it, it is hard to predict how long will it take to Serbia to become a full member of the European Union, even though we would like to see the significant progress in the next 5 years. However, the country can enter the European Union only when it meets all the necessary criteria, implements all the reforms and the acquis, and demonstrates the respect for fundamental values and rights of the European Union stated in Article 2 in the Treaty on European Union. The EU should be strict enough towards all the countries from the Western Balkans. Although Serbia is one of the countries that is approaching the Union fastest, but the latter remains to be very concerned about the current situation there. Namely, all the ongoing events regarding the upcoming parliamentary elections on 26 April will be under scrutiny. The Union will pay attention on the developments in the next months. Since our first mission to Serbia in mandate 2019-2024, this month we saw that some progress has been made, but there still needs to be done more, as the Union does not see the expected progress, especially in the terms of pluralistic and free media, respect for the rule of law, fight against corruption. According to the Freedom House's report on the Freedom in the World 2019, Serbia's status declined from free to partly free. Due to deterioration in the conduct of elections, continued attempts by the government and allied media outlets to undermine independent journalists through legal harassment and smear campaigns, and President Aleksandar Vučić's de facto accumulation of executive powers that conflict with his constitutional role. The Freedom House, in its report on the Freedom and the Media 2019, stated that Vučić's administration in Serbia has had great success in snuffing out critical journalism, blazing a trail for populist forces elsewhere. The political leader has consolidated media ownership in the hands of his cronies, ensuring that the outlets with the widest reach support the government and smear its perceived opponents. While the threats to global media freedom are real and concerning in their own right, their impact on the state of democracy is what makes them truly dangerous. A free and independent media sector that can keep the population informed and hold leaders to account is as crucial for a strong and sustainable democracy as free and fair elections. Without it, citizens cannot make informed decisions about how they are ruled, and abuse of power, which is all but inevitable in any society, cannot be exposed and corrected. With the upcoming elections, we hope to get stable, democratic government that will effortfully push the European reforms in Serbia and consequently make positive progress in the accession process. Therefore, it is extremely important that Serbia will carry out fair, free and democratic elections. However, the boycott of the elections by the opposition parties, which has been the consequence of the challenges that the media is facing and the bias in the national frequency reporting, is worrying and could seriously threaten the democracy in Serbia. We summoned the opposition parties to reconsider their boycott decision of the April elections. Serbia needs a parliament that will be a temple of democracy and place for a political dialogue, and will work on reaching the consensus and making progress towards union. In the European Parliament, we are monitoring the developments in Serbia very closely, and after the elections, we will continue the interparliamentary dialogue for strengthening the culture of the dialogue in the National Assembly. The European Union is particularly concerned regarding the danger of the hate speech and fake news, disinformation, especially when they become part of the mainstream politics and the media. Serbia's progress towards the European Union can be faster, but only if there is a clear political will and dedication for the implementation of the European reforms. The future of the Western Balkan countries is in the European Union. Thus, the European Union will keep on helping and pushing them to make the progress, but the main work has to be done by the political leaders in those countries. The new enlargement methodology, if it is adopted in March, it will certainly bring more dynamics in the accession process itself for the countries that will be granted for the candidate country status. Meanwhile, Serbia and Montenegro are already part of the accession process. Therefore, they can either continue with the present negotiating framework, or they can choose to bring more dynamics in their accession process with the new enlargement methodology. This year will be crucial for the European integrations in many views. Firstly, the upcoming parliamentary elections in North Macedonia and Serbia, and the formation of the new governments. We hope to be democratic and pro-European in both countries. Secondly, the adoption of the new enlargement methodology in March, in case that further revision of it will not be necessary. Thirdly, granting the candidate status to the Albania and North Macedonia. Last but not least, the EU Western Balkan Summit in Zagreb in May, which we hope that will make a new positive momentum in the European integrations. Therefore, we expect this year to be a new milestone in the history of the European integrations. As Serbia is entering a pre-election campaign, the country should not waste too much of precious time when on the path of the EU reforms, as we need a country genuinely committed to the reform process that will improve the lives of all people.